Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about the object class, specifically three of its most important and commonly used methods, which are hashCode method, equals method, and toString method. As we learned earlier in this series, every class in Java implicitly extends the object class. This means every class you create, whether it is a student, car, or mobile, automatically inherits all the methods of the object class. Three of the most useful inherited methods are hashCode, equals, and toString. So, hashCode returns a unique integer representing the object, while equals compares two objects, and toString returns a string representation of the object. So now here is the important thing. These methods have default implementation in object class. And those default implementations are not always useful for our own custom classes. Let's create a simple mobile class. Now let me create two variables, string model and price. Now let's create two mobile objects with identical values. So name of the class mobile, mb1 equal new mobile semicolon. Let's add values dot model equal apple semicolon, mb1 dot price equal 800 or 1000. Now let's test the three methods. Oh, I'm sorry, before that let's create the second object as well, mb2 equal new mobile semicolon. Let's add values mb2 dot model. So the values are the same, apple, mb2 dot price equal 8000. Now let's test three methods. Let's start from toString method. So I want to print object 1 and object 2. Let me run the program. We can see for mb1, object 1, we have this value, and for the second one, we have this value. When you print an object, Java automatically calls toString internally, but the default toString just returns the class name, mobile, followed by the hashCode, this number. Not very useful, right? Now let's go for the second method, which is equals. So let me first write or create another variable result, which is mb1 dot equals mb2 and semicolon. Now let's call variable result. Let me run the program. Yeah, all the variables or the values of mb1 and mb2 are the same model and the same price. equals returns false, because the default equals compares references. Are these the same object in memory? It is asking. And they are not. They are two different objects in here. So now let's go for the hashCode. So let me print hashCode for the first object. Now let's go hashCode method for the second object. And now return the values. See the outcome. Yeah, we can see two different numbers, because by default hashCode is based on the memory address of each object, and each object has its own unique address, so the default behavior is not very useful for our custom classes. Let's fix this by overriding all three methods. So the good news is you do not have to write these manually. Eclipse can generate them for you automatically. Just right click in the editor, then go for the source, then go for the generate string. Yep. You can choose your variables, middle and price, generate. Yeah, now let's go for the next one, source. Then we can go for the hashCode and equals and generate. Now I remove these keyboards because we will talk about them in details in upcoming videos. So now let's test the same three methods again. Let's go back to the toString. Let me comment these two lines. Okay, now let's go to toString and run the program again. Yeah, now we can see that model is Apple, price is 8,000, and we have different values for each one. So now we print the object, we get meaningful and readable information, right? Now let's go for the equals. Just let me comment these two lines. Let me run the program again. Yeah, this time it shows the value true. Now equals compares the content of both objects, model and price, and since they are the same, it returns true. Now let's go for the hashCode. Let me just uncomment these two lines, run the program. Yeah, now both objects produce the same hashCode because they have the same content. The overriding hashCode is based on the values of the fields, not the memory address. And one more thing, let's look at the difference between equals method, this one, and this one. Let's compare these two. So let me just write system.out. So for the first one, mb1 dot equals b2, where we have already have the value for this one, which is true. And let's go for the mb1 equals mb2. And now let's compare these two. So for the first one we have true as an outcome, and for the second one we have false, because the first one compares the content, and the second one compares the references. So that is the object class methods in Java. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe the channel so you never miss a video. See you in the next one.